Hey, Driven Autism Dads, it's Kyle Jetzel. Hey, today I want to talk about something that I think is, I found to be pretty interesting. Because when I first made the decision to really not to leave my family and to die trying to create a world where my kids could thrive and where my wife could thrive and where I could thrive and be happy, where really when I made that decision that was going to be my driving force to create a world where we could have a happy family, where we could manage the stress in a way that allowed us to really just be a joyful, happy family even during all those difficult times, I didn't believe it was possible. And I think that was, it's interesting to me because, I've heard many times, it says everything starts with belief. And when I first started my journey, I didn't believe it. But I was determined, and let me tell you why I don't think I believed it. Because, first of all, I had what a lot of people I think right now have called yeah, but syndrome. And what that means is when somebody is having success in a realm similar to yours, let's say in a world where you're raising kids on the autism spectrum and it's so hard and so tricky and so difficult and there's so much stress and the unending meltdowns and the biting and the scratching and the pinching and the smearing poo, you know what I'm talking about. All those things, all you hear about are those things. You don't hear about people that are able to manage that in a way that allows their families to thrive during that time. And if I did hear about somebody that was having success, I would say, well, yeah, but I've got two sons on the autism spectrum, and one is an introvert, he's more severe, and the other is extrovert. So the introvert's always driving the extrovert crazy, and the extrovert's always, or the introvert, you get the idea. The extroverts always are picking at the introvert, setting him off, setting him into meltdowns. And no matter what anybody said, no matter what any strategy that came along or anybody that said, we're doing okay, you should try this. And I would say, yeah, but you don't understand my situation. My wife is a stay-at-home mom. My more severe son is nonverbal. Yeah, but you don't understand. Our situation is different. And I had what we later on realized was yeah, but syndrome. Yeah, but you might be having success, but our situation is different. Yeah, but that strategy might work for you, but our son is nonverbal. Or yeah, but that might work for you. We always had an excuse, an easy to fall back on excuse that was a yeah, but. And the reality is, the truth is nobody is living your exact life. Even if somebody had a very similar situation, a very similar home, a very similar spouse situation, very similar kids, you could still come up with a yeah, but, because we did. We came up with a yeah, but every time. So in my mind, nobody had developed a way to thrive in the situation I was in, because mine was so unique and so different, right? And all of them are. So I didn't really believe it was possible to create a world where we could thrive in the chaos as we raised our kids on the spectrum. I didn't believe it. But because my determination was so solid, and because I was unwilling to fail, actually I was willing to fail all kinds of different ways, but I was unwilling to quit. I heard a guy one time say, you can never stop somebody that's unwilling to quit. You'll never defeat somebody that won't quit, right? You'll never win against an opponent who just won't stop. And that was what I was driven to do. I said, you know what? I don't care if I don't even believe it's possible. I don't care if nobody's ever done it. I don't care if there's no guide. I don't care if my life is supposed to be pain and suffering till the day I die. I'm not going to stop trying. And it was interesting because that attitude, even though I didn't have belief, I didn't start with belief. And I think that's fascinating because a lot of people say that's where you have to start. If you don't have belief, you're not going to have success. And I'm going to tell you right now, that's not what happened to me. I had zero belief that I could do it, but I was unwilling to ever stop. I felt like it was the right thing to do. I felt like my efforts were valiant. No matter what, I was going to keep trying and die trying if that was necessary. And so I want you to know, if, two things. One, if you have yeah, but syndrome, I get it, right? Nobody is living your exact life. Nobody has the relationship you have with your wife. Nobody has the kids that are on the same spectrum level as your kids. Nobody has the same. It just doesn't exist. You can always fall back on the yeah, but syndrome and say, yeah, but I can't do that because of my situation. Yeah, but you don't understand. My situation's different. I get that. I was that guy. That was my belief. And also my belief was that it just wasn't, I didn't really even believe I could do it. So if that's you, I want to tell you, you can. And I know I'm not going to change your belief, but what I'm expecting you to do is start something, right? Even if you don't believe it's possible for you to create a world where you can thrive in the chaos of raising those kids on the spectrum, and where you can create a wonderful, dynamic, loving, intimate relationship with your spouse, even if you don't believe it's possible, my suggestion is start trying. And I don't care if you don't believe it. I didn't either. I don't care. I don't care if you believe it or not. I didn't either. That's why I can say that with such conviction, because I didn't believe it. And that's not where I started. Where I started with was action. Is searching for and hunting for and finding and creating and generally just doing something and creating a plan. Just a plan. Some sort of plan, some sort of action list. Do something. Yesterday I talked a little bit about this, how we can put ourselves in a state where we don't, we've given up, right? I don't think I can do this anymore. Or this isn't what I signed up for. All those things can really hamper our ability. But if you took up my challenge yesterday and you said, you know what, I'm going to write out a plan. I don't even care if it's a horrible failure of a plan, which, frankly, my first couple of plans, my first couple of ideas were horrible. They were flawed. They had issues. Some of them caused more problems than they solved initially. But I tell you what, having a plan helped me. And even if you don't believe it's possible, just create some sort of action steps. Create a plan. Create something that you can do starting today. And watch what happens. Just try, right? Do something. And I want to tell you, if you don't believe it's possible, I'm going to empathize with you, because I didn't believe it was possible either. There was no book, there was no guide. Nobody had ever done it in my specific situation, right? So I didn't believe it. So if you don't believe it's possible, I get it. If you have yeah, but syndrome, I get it. I get those things, right? I understand those things because I have lived through those things and I have felt those things at my core. But I want to challenge you to start doing something. You don't need to start with belief. I didn't start with belief. I know people say that's where you have to start. I didn't start there. I started with action. So I'm going to challenge you to take some sort of action. And my suggestion is to sit down and just start writing out some things you're going to start doing today. Some things you're going to do today to try to give you a better chance of thriving in chaos and creating the kind of world for your family, for your spouse, for your kids, for your typical kids that you want to build. Write out something you can do today. If that's all you do, do that. I don't care if you believe it's possible or not. I didn't either. Do something today. That's my challenge for you today. That's my message. Take action. And even if it's the wrong action, you'll find out it's not the right action, and you can take other action. But start doing something today. That's my message. I hope this is helpful. Talk to you next time. Bye-bye.